What's going on, Green Teamers? You're watching Celtics Today by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Tyler Smith. Yes, unfortunately, Allie Barefoot will no longer be with the channel, but before we get down to business, I just want to thank Allie for everything she did for Celtics Today. I mean, it was awesome. I really enjoyed working with her in the 2023-2024 season. I love that experience, won a title, and now I'm here in the big box, ready to bring you guys the best Celtics content on YouTube. A big-time Celtics fan, so hope you welcome me with open arms as the host of Celtics Today. And on today's show, we got to get down to business, and that business is a round 2 matchup with the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Semifinals, finally playing the Knicks in the postseason for the first time since 2013. Cannot wait to get into it. The Celtics come in as a minus 800 favorite in this series. Not going to lie, that's a hefty price for the people out west. And the Celtics, obviously, is deserving of that price. They won the season series 4-0, kind of in dominant fashion for the most part, outside of that April 8th matchup. But man, I know this series is going to be exciting. The Knicks coming off a thrilling series against the Detroit Pistons, where Jalen Brunson absolutely went off and dropped his nuts all over the city of Detroit. So with that being said, we have our work cut out for us. This is going to be a tougher matchup than round 1 against Orlando. So let's get in the spirit. Let's send the good vibes. If you want the Celtics to beat the Knicks before we get into this round 2 preview, do not jinx it. Go down below and hit that thumbs up icon. Celtics, they're expected to win this series pretty handily. So I don't need anybody jinxing it, but not going down below and hitting that thumbs up icon. So without further ado, let's get into the Knicks-Celtics preview. All right, so as it stands, we don't know exactly what time Game 1 will be just yet at the time of filming this video. But Game 1 will be on Monday, May 5th, followed by a just 1-day break in between for Game 2 coming out of Wednesday, then a 2-day break traveling to the Garden to play on Saturday. Then following up with Game 4 on Monday, you have Game 5, if necessary, going to be next Wednesday, the 14th, and then so on and so forth. Game 6 would be Friday, and Game 7 would be Monday. So you would get a 2-day break in between Game 6 and Game 7 if necessary. And like I mentioned previously, the Celtics are heavily favored to win this series. Here is what the probabilities, or I guess the likelihoods, of a series outcome would be per the people at DraftKings. The Celtics winning 4-1 is the favorite at plus 205. That's actually insane. That the Celtics, winning in 5, winning this series super handily is the odds-on favorite. And then closely behind is Celtics sweeping the Knicks at 4-0. I don't think this series is going to be a sweep. It could very well be a gentleman's sweep if things go right for Boston. But I understand, I guess, a little bit as to why these odds are the way they are. Because the Celtics, to be quite frank with you, just took it to the Knicks in the regular season. I mean, over the 4-game stretch that they played, they outscored New York by 17 points per 100 possessions. That just, I mean, they had their way. The Knicks starters couldn't play against the Celtics starters. It just kind of seemed like a weight class difference most of the time during the regular season. But now we're in the playoffs, and guys step up, and guys are risers. So at the end of the day, you cannot take these guys lightly. But let's look through these the 4 games that the Celtics and Knicks played in the regular season. In the first game of the 2024-25 campaign, the Celtics thrashed the Knicks, and we all remember how they were on pace to set the record for most threes in a game, ended up tying the record. What a masterful performance all around from Boston. And, you're in this matchup, everything kind of went well. The Celtics came out of the gate shooting an insane percentage. I think they ended up shooting plus 50%. Yeah, they did. And, I mean, guys just went off for the Celtics. Nobody was missing out there. You see Holiday 7-9, Tatum 14 of 18. Jaylen Brown, I mean, he was kind of the lone inefficient starter. But Derek White, 8 of 13. Horford, 4 of 7. And keep in mind, didn't even have Porzingis for this matchup. And the Knicks couldn't get anything going at all. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns with his Knicks debut was quite brutal, to be quite honest. I mean, he was efficient, but he couldn't get any shots up. It was kind of disgusting to watch from Cat, to be quite honest with you. But, I mean, the Celtics and Knicks, they've gone at it, multiple times throughout the season. Like I said, it has not been all that competitive. I mean, you move over to when they played in February, and the Celtics win handily again, winning by 27. And this was the game where I felt like, whoa, the Knicks are maybe not as good as maybe everybody else thinks, or they're as good as they're supposed to be with all the investments they've made into their roster. I mean, this was the game where Tatum was just frying Mikal Bridges, frying him in the ISO and off the catch. It didn't matter. I mean, Tatum went absolutely nuclear in this game. I think he ended up going for 40. Yes, he did. 13 to 26 from the field, and a lot of those came against Mikal Bridges. I mean, this was the Tatum show, and I think we're going to need to see one or two of these type of games if the Celtics want to win this series in the fashion that they're kind of expected to at this point. Knicks couldn't get anything going this night either. I mean, you see, like, it just was a struggle for them offensively against the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics can switch everything, and they can put the Knicks into actions defensively that kind of wear them out and limit their offensive potential. Then you move to a couple weeks later. Celtics kind of just take care of business again, winning by 13, 118 to 105. And then you get to the last game that they played of the season. This is the tightest battle, and this is honestly, you could argue, the game that we have to take the most from when we're looking at this series. I mean, obviously we know what happened, how this game went to overtime, and Tatum stepped back over OG Anunoby. Man, that kind of set the tone for me as far as like what we're going to see in this series. Hopefully, it's a lot of clutch shots from the Celtics. Or hopefully, we don't have to be in the clutch all that often. But we were in this game, and the Celtics, they had to persevere. They had to show that, they were championship caliber roster again. I mean, Tatum and Porzingis combining for 66 points in this one. Like, you need your stars to step up, and you need your stars to be better than the Knicks, who, again, like, were just not that good overall. But Brunson really found his way in this game, especially late, scoring 27. Cat, this is his lone, really, really good outing against the Celtics this year. He had 34 in this matchup, so that's going to be something that the Celtics definitely have to pay attention to. It is no secret that Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are both very, very good basketball players, and they can go off and heat up at any point in this series. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But at the end of the day, I really do think that there is a skill gap between these two teams. Like I mentioned, Celtics outscore the Knicks by 17 points per 100 possessions. They have to lock in and just execute and be the better team like they've been all season long, or else this thing's gonna go longer than it needs to, and nobody is going to like that. Celtics will not be properly rested. Don't need more tread on these tires heading into another long playoff run. And we will be live right here on the channel for every single game. Yes, the watch parties will continue here at Celtics Today. I will be in the driver's seat this time around. I can't wait to bring you guys the energy for every single Celtics game. So join us and turn your notifications on as well so you know exactly when we go live on the channel, and help us beat the Knicks Now channel. Those frauds over there. Yeah, they made me work for them at some point this year. I hated every second of it. And I'm not going to speak to Marshall Green at all. I heard what he had to say to me on his preview video. So lock us in, and if you hate the Knicks, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because we are on a rocket ship here at Celtics Today, and I want you guys to be a part of every single game that we have broadcasted on here, watch parties or other live events as well. Hit that sub button if you're a diehard Celtics fan. All right, let's get into the keys to victory for this series. It's the Tatum and KP show. As far as superstars that need to step up, this is Jayson Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis' time to shine. I know a lot of people haven't been happy with the way that Kristaps Porzingis has been playing lately. Not so sure why, but at the end of the day, he balls out when he sees the orange and blue. Versus New York this year in the two games that he did play, I mean, just utter dominance. 24.5 a game, shooting incredibly efficiently, 45% from long range, yet he's 10 of 22 in those two games. And when you have the 7'3" player that's able to stretch the floor in the way that Porzingis is, and how much of a threat he is, not only in the pick and pop, but also in the pick and roll as well, you're gonna have success against a lot of NBA teams that just aren't able to guard that. Cat cannot guard Kristaps Porzingis in any shape of the imagination. And then you kind of move over to Tatum, who we know has fried Mikal Bridges all season long. Like, when when Bridges is guarding Tatum, he shoots 70%. He shoots 70%, 57 from three-point range. He had 35 on him. 35. I believe it, and it ended up being something like 13 to 19 total from the floor there against Bridges. Now, when he is defended by OG, is a little bit of a different story, and this happens a lot less frequently in this season series, which is kind of interesting to me that they didn't make the adjustment sooner. But Tatum is inefficient against OG, and it has been on fewer possessions and whatnot. But at the end of the day, Tatum has to go off. This is a wing duo the Knicks brought in to stop Jayson Tatum, but at the end of the day, I think those efforts have proved futile, and Tatum continues to rock these guys every single time they match up. And what happened in that last game against against New York, down the stretch, going to overtime, in overtime. These two closed the game. These two closed out the Knicks. So if the Celtics are going to win this series and win it handily, then these two are going to need to be the guys that step up the biggest and in the biggest moments. And they've shown that they can do that all season long. Next up, Celtics got to stay healthy. And I know this is like, it can go for any series or any instance at all in basketball. Like, you got to stay healthy. But, the Knicks, well, I'll talk about it in a minute. But the Knicks, they're going to try to muck up this series. The Celtics injuries on hand right now. Obviously, Porzingis got the stitches. Drew Holiday, he's been missing time in this playoff run, so not exactly the best for consistency and continuity in the lineup. Tatum's got the wrist, his shooting wrist, that he kind of keeps pointing at. And then Jaylen Brown, obviously with the knee and the finger thing going on as well. This team is not at 100%. Everybody's going to be available to play for this series, I believe, and they're going to be playing at 100%, but they're not all the way there as healthy as they were last playoff run, obviously barring Porzingis. But what did I say? The Knicks are going to muck this series up. They're going to try to be physical. They're going to try to take Celtics out of rhythm. Like they probably know that there's not a clear advantage skill-wise between each of these two rosters. So the Knicks are going to try to muck up this game. They're going to try to get in the Celtics' heads, and you have to respond to that physicality, but you also have to preserve yourself and stay healthy. And you anticipate this being a long series if this is how the Knicks are going to do it. But to be fair, the Knicks are also banged up as well. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, they kind of got some things tweaked in Game 5 against Detroit. So, are they all 100%? Could the Celtics take advantage of that aspect of things? I mean, I'm not saying like what Dylan Brooks is saying about how he's hunting Stephen Curry's injured injured thumb, excuse me. But at the end of the day, the best ability is availability. And if you are not going to be the most available and most healthy team in the series, then you're probably going to lose. No matter how much better the Celtics roster is than New York's. It's just plain and simple. So stay healthy and match their physicality, but be able to preserve yourself and stay locked in and make sure you're not making any stupid decisions like that. Next, limit the Knicks' other guys. And I say other guys because they are the starters. The starters for the Knicks play like 35 plus minutes a game every single time. So they're going to play the vast majority of these games. They are not a deep team whatsoever. And we know that heading into this series, Jalen Brunson will get his. I don't think there's any doubts in anybody's mind. We saw what he was able to do to Detroit. We saw what he's been able to do in the biggest moments against the Celtics this year. And, I mean, just that was ice cold what he did to send the Pistons packing. So we know he will get his. And I think the Celtics can let that happen. Like, he averaged, 27 a game against them this season. I think you can go for 30 every single game, and you could still beat the Knicks 4-0. Like that's just what's going to happen. Who you have to pay attention to getting hot is, players like the guys on the wings or like a Karl-Anthony Towns, who, as the season went on, got a lot better against the Celtics. I mean, a couple of abysmal showings for Cat in the first two games, combining for 21 points. Then he goes for 24, kind of gets his feet wet a little bit, 18 boards in that game, kind of controlling the glass, and then 34 on April 8th, 34 and 14, and he was hella efficient in those last two games as well. So, you're going to have to do whatever it takes to kind of not let Karl-Anthony Towns get in a rhythm, as, he is their second best offensive player. And then, do what it takes to get Bridges and OG gassed as well, because they have not fared well against Boston at all this season. I mean, OG averages 9 points per game. Mikal averages 18. These guys are combining for 23 points per game. That will not win a series if you're the New York Knicks. Plus, they have been absolutely terrible as for their net ratings, and then they're the plus-minus at Mikal with a minus 26.6 and an OG to minus 17. Like, these guys on the floor have not been positives for New York. And I also think another player that is going to be a huge X factor in this series, particularly offensively, where you don't really think about him, is Josh Hart. I do think Josh Hart will be a big-time X factor on the offensive end, because the way that the Celtics defend the Knicks, they match up Kristaps Porzingis on Josh Hart. So is he going to attack more? Is he going to be more of a aggressive shooter from the outside? He hasn't really been this season, but Porzingis is going to sag off, and he's going to kind of act as a roamer. What will Josh Hart's approach be offensively, and how will the Knicks deploy Miles McBride if he's not efficient offensively? And that's another look, and you can't really have Porzingis guarding McBride with the way that he's a threat to score. So, got to limit the Knicks' other guys, do what they do defensively to get their switches and be in advantageous situations on that end. I think that they'll do just fine. Like, these are all kind of par for the course things that we have to worry about for Boston. So, just make sure we're I's dotted, T's crossed at the end of the day. Like just You know Jalen Brunson's going to get his. Do what it takes to limit the other guys on this Knicks starting five. And also get them in rotation. Like, kind of going back to what I said about the Knicks starters playing all these minutes is they are going to get tired. This Celtics team is at its best when the ball is flying around the floor. And that's kind of what happened in the first couple meetings of the season series. Like, the Celtics had the ball flying in that first matchup back in October. So continue to do that. Continue to get the Knicks in rotations. Continue to hunt switches. Like, Jayson Tatum has taken a huge playmaking leap this season as far as what he's doing when he reacts to double teams or what he's doing just as a pure ball handler and a point forward for this Celtics team. He has taken a massive leap. He's gotten up to the 6 assists a game, and that's because defenses, double him more than any player in the entire league. And he's been, making them pay for those mistakes right now. So could set the screens, hunt, get Cat switched on to guards. Like, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Boston offensively to exploit the Knicks defense and get mismatches is what the Celtics, kind of bread and butter is at this point. Hunt defensive weaknesses. Cat can be one of those guys. Can you get Derek White switched on to him? Can you get Drew Holiday switched on to him? And he'll be, either sagging off. You can pop a three, or you can use your effective dribble driving skills to get past a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns. Hunt Jalen Brunson defensively. Like, yes, he's gotten a little bit better as a defender, but like, make him work on the defensive end so he's not going to be as big of a threat on the offensive end. Get these Knicks in rotation, get them tired out, and hopefully you're going to, fare better, get better shots more than likely, and end up wrapping this series up in 5 or 6 games. And just at the end of the day, like, it just comes down to this. You are the better team in this series. You're the better team. So just be better. Just execute and be better. I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say about this matchup other than the fact that the Celtics are the better team, man, and they can't go out there and get punked by a Knicks team that nobody believes in right now. They're using that nobody believes in us mentality. Yeah, because nobody should. Go beat them. I should have probably shown these numbers earlier, but, like, we know who the better basketball team is here. They have a much higher net rating of 9.4 to 4.0. Like, that's egregious. The Celtics take and make the most threes in the entire NBA. They have the league's second best offensive rating. They have the league's 4th best defensive rating. Meanwhile, the Knicks have the 13th best defensive rating. When you thought that this team would be excellent defensively, they're really not. And they don't take a ton of threes. So this is going to be a math problem for the Celtics. And it was a math problem early on in the season. It's going to be another math problem in this series as well. Take a bunch of threes, make a bunch of threes, and just do what you do best. Hit shots. Like, this Celtics team is so skilled. We are so lucky to be able to watch it day in and day out. It would be a disaster to lose this series to the New York Knicks. It would be a disaster, not only for this Boston Celtics team, but for me too. I don't know if I could survive in this office if the Knicks beat the Celtics. So go out there, execute, do your thing, and everything will be all right. Like, the series will come and go, and the Celtics will be another step closer to winning another championship. So with that being said, who do you got in the series? Type BOS for Boston, type NYK for the Knicks. I want to hear what you guys got, as I'm about to give you my prediction down below in just 1 second. Alrighty, I think the Celtics win in 6. Yes, it's a little bit longer than a lot of people are pegging this series to go, but I respect the Knicks. I respect the Knicks enough to get 2 games off of the Celtics. And what do we know about Boston? They're the best road team in the entire league, so I feel very confident in them closing out the series on the road in the Garden, 33-8 record this season. And with that being said, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and tune in for Game 1 for my first watch party hosting Celtics Today. Can't wait to get into it. And another huge thank you to Allie Barefoot for all the contributions that she made to this show. Wouldn't have been possible without her, and we wouldn't have seen the growth that we did if it wasn't for Allie and all her hard work and dedication. So special shout out to her. Can't wait to carry the mantle and hopefully do this channel some justice, because I love the Celtics, man, and I can't wait to cover them with you every single day. So my name is Tyler Smith. Can't wait to host Celtics Today with you guys. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Go Seas.